Now, Basil Manuel, the Executive Director at the National Professional Teachers Organization of South Africa, joins us now for more. A very good evening to you, Mr. Manuel. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to the late edition.
Good evening. It's a pleasure to be with you.
It's an absolute pleasure to have you join us this evening, Mr. Manuel. First of all, how severe is the problem of learner-on-learner violence in South African schools currently, and what trends have you observed over the past few years? And put differently, Mr. Manuel, what kind of impact does this violence have on the teaching and the learning environment from a teacher's perspective?
Let me begin by saying that the vast majority of our schools are actually problem-free. They don't have the inherent problem of major violence. However, when the minister speaks about approximately 280, let's call them 300 schools that are really problematic in problematic areas. Here we have seen some of the most unbelievable acts of violence, things that we don't believe belong in a school. These are communities as well that are violent, and children come from violent homes. And as a result, these things pour over into the school. And innocent children are caught up in this. And of course, the teachers themselves become victims. But it is the culture of teaching and the culture of learning that gets disrupted, because that can't continue normally when outside there's a ruckus going on. So this is where the problem begins. And the problem of two children then becomes the problem of the entire school.
And I see that you so eloquently diagnose the problem. But then what do you believe are the underlying causes contributing to this kind of violence among learners? And how much of this violence do you think is a reflection of the wider societal issues versus the school-specific factors?
I think we must understand that there's no one issue that creates the great problem. They varied and they're contextual. They belong in certain areas, and in other areas the same problem doesn't exist. But it is about the fabric of society having disintegrated. It is about the sale of alcohol and other unacceptable types of drugs and things near the schools. It is about parents losing control. It is about the school ethos itself, and also sometimes the discipline at schools not being what it should be.
Right.
So you add all that together and it becomes a toxic mix. So there's no one issue, but there are many, many issues. And when you put them together, you find a situation that you can't handle. So the question is what you do about it. How do you fix it? Can a protocol fix it? And the protocol must be seen as a start to something. It will not be like a light switch that is switched on. But unless we engage parents, unless we engage the schools, the teachers, as well as the learners themselves, we are not going to make a difference to what we want to see as the ideal type of school.
You're quite right there. I mean, this protocol certainly cannot be a light that can just be switched on unless there's involvement from all stakeholders, from all parties. But having said that, how effective do you think this plan will be in terms of addressing violence and ensuring safer school environments? And what measures within the protocol do you consider the most critical for immediate implementation?
Let me say there's very little in the protocol that has never been tried before, but maybe all of them put together will make a difference. But it is going to be judged by the effectiveness of the supply of certain resources. Take policing, for example. Are the police going to be around? Are there sufficient police? Are there vehicles to get the police to the right places? What about the assistance that a school needs when trouble brews? Is it going to be there, ready for the calling? That is going to be the judgment. How active are our people outside of the immediate school going to be? Not only the parents, but the very Department of Education. This is going to be the judgment we will use. As for NAPTOSA, as for teachers, they want to see a difference. And I want to tell you, they are going to be working to make this work. But we need the help. We also need counselors in our schools. Children who are teaching on the edge can be brought back with the right counseling, with the right guidance.
Absolutely.
Teachers with classes that are overcrowded can't deal with this at the moment. And that is our other unfortunate reality.
And beyond immediate security protocols, what long-term strategies do you suggest to create a culture of respect and safety in schools?
I believe there are things that we must do with the broader community. I'm talking about your churches, your mosques, your temples, your social clubs, particularly your sports clubs as well, that can become involved in schooling and engage the children, particularly the boy child as well, that is disengaging much faster than the girl child. And by drawing all of them in, making them the active part of the school, together with the parent body, the SGB, and the teachers, I believe that changes the society, the community as a whole, and the ethos of schools change. Then we can start seeing change. But it's a long road, and it's small gains at a time. But you don't give up. So I'm not unhappy with the protocol. I'm saying, yes, I know I've seen this before, but I'm happy to give it another shot. Why? Because I believe we mustn't give up on our children, and we don't give up on the future of these many, many kids that look at us hoping that we'll make a difference.
And most importantly, I mean, teachers and school staff need to be equipped, to handle incidents of learner-on-learner violence, and they need to be given that support, to manage these situations. Mr. Manuel, great chatting to you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much, Simpiwe. You have a good night further.
You too. Thank you. Well, Basil Manuel is the Executive Director at the National Professional Teachers Organization of South Africa, reacting to the Basic Education Minister, Sivuyo Gwagube, and Police Minister, Senzo Mchunu, just highlighting learner-on-learner violence, including murder and rape at schools.